Hey friend, welcome to my video today. I am going to make a mixed media piece on this watercolor paper. It's 140 pounds and it is 9 by 12. I just cut it in half. These are some of the paint colors that I'm thinking of using, but it could always change. So I just kind of go with what my instinct says in the beginning. So I'm just taking these prints that I made on my jelly plate and just kind of cutting them up and ripping them up and making them into shapes that may fit. This first step is not really a high-tech process. I just kind of follow my gut, see what shapes make sense, what color combinations I like, and how I want the first layer to look. I don't get too caught up in the process because I know that I'm going to be putting paint on top, other papers, marks, and possibly stencils. So I don't get too crazy about it. I just enjoy the process of putting the first layer down and starting to dream up what could possibly be. So I did kind of come up with a blue color theme. I usually have something in mind when I start as far as what colors I want to use, and then I kind of go from there. So these are all papers that I made on my gel plate, and I actually have a new book that is coming out. I'm very excited. You'll be able to use some of these papers as well. I printed that book and I am going to put a link to it down below. So I'm just putting all of these papers down with some satin medium. And I do put a generous amount underneath, and then I put another layer on top so that it creates a little bit of a barrier. Because a lot of times I print on actual copy paper just to get the color down. So it's not real high-tech paper I'm using, and it needs a little extra help to not absorb so much of the media that I put on top of it. So that satin medium is a great tool to use, but it does sometimes curl the paper. So I did let it dry and then I was just straightening it out. Now this is a combination that I love, this color. It's phthalo cyanine blue. I have a hard time saying that. And Mars black. It's kind of like a blackish navy. And it just is so beautiful when it comes out. And you can kind of lighten it with a little white if you like, but you can kind of see it poking through there. I love the darkness of it. Reminds me of a midnight sky. And you can add just another little color to it to change it up just the slightest bit. You'll see I do that below as well. So I'm just kind of moving some paint around the paper. I am going to make this into a greeting card. So that is why I was experimenting with this new shape, I guess, size. I do want to make this into a greeting card. So my plan is to create this mixed media piece and then scan it and make it into a card. So I will show you that process in a future video as well. So just moving this paint around. I'm not too worried about the intensity of it because I know I can cover it up. It is quite a dark color. So when I use dark colors like this, I try to be a little sparing in the beginning. Just do little by a little bit at a time. Otherwise, it can take over the whole piece. So what I did for this next color is I took that real dark blue and I added just a little bit of bright olive green. Not much, as you can see, because it really turned into a dark, dark green, which I loved. It's a nice juxtaposition on that kind of goldish color paper. And I'm just using a basic sponge. It's an art sponge to push the paint through the stencil. So I'm just creating some interest in the background because I have an idea of what I want to use for the centerpiece, and I'll show you in a second. This is a jelly print that I use for some accent. So it's printed on deli paper, and it's very similar to that color that I just made, but it's a little lighter. It's kind of like an olive green. And you can see in the background that light green. I did add some parchment to the dark green color I made and just kind of did a little wash on top. It's just kind of a little bit of a bridge between that blue and the green. And I just wanted to show you where that jelly print made its way into the corner. Sometimes I get carried away and forget to record. Another way to add some paint through stencil is with this foam brush. It's a great way to just add a little more interest. And the foam brush makes it really easy and it doesn't really sneak under the stencil. You got to hold the stencil real tight against the paper though. So just pushing that, kind of smushing the paint through. And right here I added another piece of that jelly paper, but I forgot to record it. I was very involved in doing this piece and kind of stopped and started quite a few times. But here is the feather that I'm using as a centerpiece. And I printed it out on deli paper. I'm putting it down with the satin medium, but I did print it on my inkjet. Now, I did put a coat of a fixative on top of it so it wouldn't run, but it still tends to because the deli paper isn't quite so absorbing. You know, a lot of the ink does sit on top of the paper. When you fix it, it does help, but it can still run if you're using inkjet. If you're using a laser, then it'll be fine. But now I'm just kind of going in with my Posca paint pen and adding some marks. I did speed it up. I don't actually draw this fast, but just kind of gives you an idea of the process and how I finish pieces. This is one of the last things I do is just kind of draw and have fun and add stuff that I can't really add with paint. I feel like these last marks are a little more personal. And I wanted to kind of bring out the feather a little more too. These paint pens are so magical. They can really add some nice, just finishing marks. This gold pen is the Uniball Signo pen. And you'll notice sometimes I do go over things again and again in different colors. I feel like that's part of the process of editing. The white really wasn't showing up that great, so I went over it again in gold. But it's all part of the fun, trying things and redoing them and trying again. So I am leaving a little area up top on top of the feather to kind of create a little bit of a sentiment up there. I'm probably going to just scan this piece and then add it in Photoshop just so I can kind of play around with the color and the sentiment, and then I can put it onto a greeting card. So all these little finishing touches, a lot of times it's hard to know when to stop, but I am a big fan of just trusting my gut. And when it feels right, you just kind of say, okay, that's enough. And then I move on because there's always something else to make. So these are the last marks, and then I will show you all the little details. You can kind of see them up close right here. This one was so much fun to make, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out as a card. Stay tuned for part 2, and thank you so much for following along. If you enjoyed this video, I'm going to put another one like it right here, and I hope to see you again soon.